Okay, 3 Invincible videos in 2.5 weeks is kinda crazy, but can you really look at me dead in my eyes and tell me this series doesn't deserve it? Season 1's finale was such a landmark for this series. Nothing has really come close to its adrenaline-inducing action, emotional storyline, and commitment to being absolutely obscene. Yes, that is until I Thought You Never Shut Up, Invincible's magnum fucking opus. Where do I even start with this fucking diamond? Well, I don't know, baby. Let's start with Mark in this episode. Oop, I guess we're gonna talk about Conquest now. Conquest is everything I ever wanted in a villain. For my anime and manga fans out there, he's literally Dragon from Fire Force, except he's arguably a bigger menace. Literally, one of his lines this episode is basically, "Fuck my mission, I just want to whoop your ass for fun." He says,
"The truth is, I want you to resist."
You know a villain is fucked up if he wants you to fight back. And while Nolan showed some remorse near the end of his episode, Conquest, not even for a second, gave a fuck. The amount of shit talking he dished out this episode was crazy. And guess what? Every single word was backed up by an equally crazy action. He backed it all up, just straight giving out these hands for free. There was this small bit near the end of the fight where Conquest slows it down a little bit, gets a little bit emotionally vulnerable, and you might think he's having second thoughts about the whole shebang, but do you know what this motherfucker says? He says, "I'm so alone because I'm the fucking strongest." Now, obviously there's more nuance to his character here, and I do think I'm heavily generalizing, but the gist is that he's the fucking GOAT, okay? Even among other Viltrumites, the man was feared for his pure strength. Dude would eat a 1-2 combo from Mark and start geeking, straight grinning ear to ear. The aura farming is ridiculous. Man was so good at his job that Conquest, his title, isn't a name, it's a purpose. What a hard-ass line.
I don't even get a real name, only a purpose.
Halfway through the episode, I really was thinking like, how the fuck are they gonna beat this guy? He damn near tore Oliver in half, took Mark's ass and spanked that shit like your mama. Hell, he knocked Eve the fuck out of commission. Adding on to that, I think this fight is splendid in its writing. I love the parallel to season 1's finale with the crazy head grabbing, splitting people part bits, the road trip these motherfuckers go on, the general brutality of the last bits of the fight. I also think the pacing is basically perfect. The fight never drags or rushes. The cutaways to Eve and Debbie felt like they were necessary and didn't bog down the tension at all, but rather increase the stakes. Eve's god mode, that kind of reminds me of Mel from Arcane, didn't feel like an asspull surprisingly because it was shown in the TV special. And speaking of which, her pseudo death tore me up. I was fairly positive she would live, but Steven Yeun's vocal work on Mark made me so sad. He popped off this episode. The scene I mentioned with Eve, yes, but also the grimy anger and bitterness as he bashes his head into Conquest's skull, the desperation he invokes when Oliver is about to get folded, and the aura of this one line that will stay in my head rent-free.
I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how fast you are. I can see the future. You don't live to see tomorrow.
So fucking tough. And Conquest's monologue is delivered powerfully by Jeffrey Dean Morgan with a sort of terrifying subtlety in his tone. I love it. This casting choice is perfect. And you guys have probably noticed this with the footage I'm showing and, you know, your own watching. But this animation though, shit is moving crazy. It's so smooth and fluid and impactful and not lazy. I'm glad they didn't fuck this up. The last thing I want to say, and I kind of mentioned it before, but I think this finale is absolutely brilliant in its storytelling and how it interlaces its grandiose, action-packed fight scenes with the burden of Earth's life at stake with a deep, grounded, human emotional tale. This is something season 1's finale did, but this one here hits even deeper. Rex's funeral is beautiful, and although Rudy changed his name is low-key fanning out, shit hit, man. Especially Eve's speech. It's such a heartwarming yet bittersweet scene. Debbie and Mark get such an amazing scene in the hospital. I generally felt a little bit of tears welling up behind my eyes. Mark reassuring his mom that she never did anything wrong is just so goddamn wholesome. Eve and Mark's reunion after she goes Super Saiyan is like a deep exhale after the crazy climax of the fight. Like Mark just went fucking berserker mode, smashing and headbutting, and then everything calms down. We see these two simply say I love you to each other, and I think it's, again, just like a big exhale, like I could finally breathe again, you know what I'm saying? Yes, the Conquest fight was fucking incredible. A visual spectacle with tensions thicker than the blood spilled. Animation we haven't seen in years in the series, yet it's the story and the characters and the way they develop and interact that's ultimately the payoff of all of that. This episode is just flat out brilliant. It's the culmination of 3 seasons worth of character work, story buildup, and thematic development, and I think it's executed flawlessly. And you know what's crazy? A lot of my friends who read the comments say this story gets even crazier, and I just can't wait to see this episode somehow, some way, someday get topped. And yeah, those are just my thoughts on this finale episode. I think it is a masterpiece. I fucking loved every goddamn frame, every goddamn sound effect and vocal work. It's so good. You know, if you asked to pass me, it would be unprecedented for season 1's finale to get topped. But fucking hell, it blew out the water. Okay, maybe not blew out the water, but it is better, I think, genuinely. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace.